Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here once again looking back at last weekend's F1 2019 Grand Prix, obviously with the fantasy team, seeing how we're stacking up relative to everyone else and everything like that. Obviously if you missed out on episode 1, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out from the Australian Grand Prix, but obviously today we move into Bahrain. Now before we sort of get into this one, you know, a couple of things that I sort of want to mention. First of all, I've been getting quite a lot of questions from you guys, you know, asking where am I, what's going on with the channel and stuff. Ultimately, at the moment, you know, I'm not going to go into too much detail because that's not the point in this video. I am sort of trying to make a few changes to, you know, open up a bit more time to be able to get into more videos and stuff. For those of you guys that sort of know me quite well, you know, I've actually started a new job recently and things like that. And there's been a little bit of a lack of motivation with the F1 game as well. I've had a few more issues, things like editing software and stuff like that, sadly, that I am really trying to sort out. Hopefully, you know, I don't want to make any promises at the moment because ultimately I don't know, you know, what's going to happen. But, you know, I've had the last episode of the Leclerc Career Mode recorded for about 2 months at this point, I'll be entirely honest with you. I just, never really found the motivation to edit it, and then when I have, I've had a couple of issues with Adobe Premiere Pro, not in the actual software itself, just actually just trying to, you know, buy it again. At the moment it's been a bit frustrating, but hopefully, you know, we will get back onto the grind. You know, F1 2019 has now been announced as well, and I sort of want to try and build back up the channel ready for that game as well, so really looking forward to that one as well. As you know, I've still got a lot of ideas that, if I get the time, I do want to try and put into motion. But yeah, a lot of things going on around YouTube as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys can sort of understand that. I have no intentions of quitting. That's sort of the important thing I want to get through at the moment. You know, I've never really sort of felt since I started that I wanted to quit, but I've also sort of felt at points more recently where I feel I can stop if needed and if other stuff is going on, which I think is sort of very ideal. It's a good mindset to be in, if I do say so myself. But glossing over that then, let's move into the important thing, the F1 Fantasy 2019 Round 2 at the Bahrain Grand Prix. The Grand Prix itself, first of all, personally, obviously for me as a Hamilton fan, a very good race for my fantasy team as well. That's worked out quite nicely. But from, you know, watching like the actual Grand Prix itself, obviously heartbreak for Charles Leclerc. I'm not a Charles Leclerc fan, but even I felt a little bit sorry for him. I think, you know, everyone did up and down the grid. You know, he slapped Vettel all weekend long, and ultimately I'm more than happy to admit he did deserve that victory as well. But yeah, moving into this week's fantasy then, as you can see, let's have a look in my teams. 231 points we are up to, and look at that, game week 2, 145 points. We're getting there. I think we scored, what, about 80 in week 1? Yeah, 86 in week 1, and look at that, 145, carried, absolutely carried by Mercedes and Hamilton there. What's that? 120 points between the two of them there. Lando Norris coming in clutch as well. I think, you know, maybe my turbo. We'll get into the driver swaps a little bit further down the line there. Carlos Sainz had a bit of a tough day at it once again. 0 points there. I was quite surprised actually that I did lose out points with him. Daniel Ricciardo lost me 5 as well. And then Magnussen, qualifying was really strong. Sadly, the race wasn't quite the same way. I kind of wasted my turbo there. In the end, I really, you know, probably should have put it on Norris, and I would have had a bit of a better chance in this week's racing. But 145 points I will certainly take as well. You know, really happy with that one. Like I said, 86 in the first week, so we almost doubled our score in week 2 there. And having a look then in the league, where do we stand currently? Obviously, if you guys want to join this league, make sure you get yourself in as well. There is our invite code, obviously, if you guys are interested to get yourself involved in there. We've got Shunted Tarantulas actually at the top. We're nearly up to 250 people as well, so I cannot thank you guys enough for that one. You know, the numbers are still climbing every week, which is obviously really exciting to see. But yeah, Shunted Tarantulas, 405 points there. A phenomenal job. He's got Verstappen, Bottas, Raikkonen, Norris, Albon, and Mercedes. A very strong lineup. Kimi Raikkonen has been doing absolute bits in the early stages of this season there, and he scored 193 in week 1 as well. He's not had a single negative score so far this season, and obviously Raikkonen is actually best of the rest at the moment. I think you can turbo the Red Bulls though. I mean, we'll have a look in just a minute there, but congratulations to Nadine there. Sorry, I probably butchered your name, but 212 points. You can't get much better than that, let's be honest. You've absolutely nailed that one as well. Having a bit of a shout out as well to other people inside the top 10. Left turn arrows as well, 399 points. Tyrrell well, 393. Mercurial Mercedes AMG F1, 392. I butchered that name. Anderson Autosport and Faster Than You. What a Will Buxton pun that one is. Benetton's of Crap, interesting name as well. Scuderia Arzani Volpini Rigatoni. I don't know what that means, but it's probably something bad. Well, I say it might be something bad. As well, they're Big Gears Gullis, sorry, I should say as well. I think that's Hayden Gullis on 350 points there. Phenomenal job by him. And then Spiker F1 on 347 as well. That's a fantastic job for all of you guys inside the top 10 so far. We've got Indecisive Liveries on 345 points. Nelson PK Jr. And then having a look further down, Aston Butterballs, interesting name. Underdogs Ambitious but Williams. I think still one of my favourite names so far from this series. 170 points from week 2. Sorry, 175 and then 170 in week 1. A very, very solid race out for them. Let's have a little bit of look further down the order. We've got quite a lot of well, I mean, of course, we've got quite a lot of teams. 234 of them overall. Lando for the win. That's a solid name there as well. Trying to have a look. Where will I be? I think I'm literally right on the cusp. Yeah, I'm tied for 100th place in my own league, so it's not going all too well for myself. Where did I finish, actually, out of interest, in Bahrain? I actually did quite well in Bahrain, didn't I? Where am I? About 135, wasn't it? No, how many did I score? Was it 130? I can't remember. No, how many did I score? Oh, I'm looking at Australia, that's why. Bahrain. How many? I scored like 135 points, didn't I? 62nd, tied with Charles Chocolat Leclerc's. That is, again, a brilliant name there as well. So yeah, it's tied 62nd in week 2. We're moving up the order ever so slightly. We were outside the top 100 in week 1 there as well. But yeah, having a look at the overall leaderboard down towards the bottom then. PSL Racing, I'm pretty certain that was obviously PSL Luton Rules, a fellow content creator. Tied with myself, 183 Esports, one of my good buddies, Jamie, as well there. Just 1 point ahead as well as Not So Blessed. And All Flashes GP, who as well actually does make videos from the F1 Fantasy as well. Just 2 points ahead of me. It is really, really spicing up after the first couple of weeks of this season. But we're actually going to go in and have a look at my team, because I think, honestly, the first couple of weeks, they've got all right on the whole. But I think it's time, you know, we start to make some changes. And I think, first of all, we're going to get our turbo changed. Actually, what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to get rid of Ricardo and Sainz. They are just not performing to where I want them to. Renault, you know, that's sort of their fault. You know, they're not really where anyone expected them to be. They're just not a wise financial investment in my eyes at the moment. So we're sadly going to have to get rid of him. But I am thinking about trying to get a Ferrari in there. Leclerc is 23.3, so we are now over budget. But I'm also going to scrap Magnussen. So I got 7.2 million between 2 drivers. Can I get... No, I cannot. Holy moly, no, I cannot get anyone else. Oh, I can't get enough people in for that one. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to scrap Charles, sadly. So we got 30.5 million to play with. I want to get Raikkonen. He is looking like a very, very wise choice at the moment. I'm honestly thinking about getting Magnussen back in. Gasly just hasn't been performing. So I got 2 drivers at about 10 million a pop. Who can we go with? We've got Grosjean not really performing too well. Norris, obviously, I'm keeping in there. We could try and spend a little bit more and then get a little cheaper again. But then it's just the Renaults. This is the problem. The Renaults are like the most expensive ones. And I don't want them at the moment. Magnussen, sadly, is still looking like one of my best bets on the whole. Who can we go to round out the numbers? We haven't really got anyone particularly. I'm tempted, honestly, just to go George Russell, rather worryingly. I mean, he's got a lot of points potential because Williams are just so mediocre. But no, let's go Albon. I think that's probably a wiser bet on the whole. We're going to turbo up. We're going to turbo up Raikkonen. Change it. You know, we'll go with what some of the top guys are going with as well, ready for the next one. I've just wasted a load of points as well, haven't I? I've sadly... Yeah, I accidentally threw away some points there. Oopsie poopsie, didn't realise that one before we continued on. But there we go then. That is my new F1 fantasy team ready for the next week. We got Norris, we got Raikkonen as my turbo, we got Magnussen, Albon, Lewis Hamilton, and Mercedes as well, continuing on in for the next few weeks. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well. I do not want to use my wildcard just yet as well. Obviously, we will be back after the Chinese Grand Prix, hopefully within, obviously, the following couple of days after that Grand Prix weekend as well. Obviously, the race will be, obviously, between 2:10. I don't know if that's a local or... yeah, that's probably local, isn't it? I think as well there. But yeah, hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here and you do want to see more F1 2019 fantasy, I should say. God, I'm running behind the times at the moment as well. But yeah, that is it from me for this one. Hopefully, like I said, you guys have enjoyed. Get yourself subscribed, and I will hopefully see you guys next time after the Chinese